Hello and welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna. I would like to welcome you back to Series 14 of Christy's Beautiful Life in her 30 Days of Sketches. Today's sketch is by Tracey England. I had lots of fun with this sketch. I didn't have much pre-planned for this. I went into my collection of Halloween things, which isn't a lot any longer because my kids are big. And I've pulled out these papers, and you can see I'm trying to figure out which one do I want to use. I liked this red one because of the red in Meredith's shirt and in the car. And then I didn't realize that my pumpkin has stripes going across, and the red stripes are going up and down. So it's between this one and the black one where it has a haunted house in it, but I'll be covering up the haunted house with the pumpkin and that wins. You can see it almost looks like mixed media on the top, but it's kind of like clouds. So the pumpkin was one I had cut out before and hadn't used. And I kind of thought it could be that strip that's going across the middle. I pull out different things. Again, I don't have a lot of embellishments for Halloween any longer. And my thought was, I actually almost thought, I just stop at Hobby Lobby today. And I was like, no, you don't need to use everything really themed. So I pulled out what I had, and then the fall stuff is sitting under the sketch there. I don't use that at all. That's going to get put away in a minute. I have 3 buttons that were from somewhere. I'm going to get 2 of those on the layout, and then I've just got these random like stickers and things. There is a title that's going to say Frightful and Delightful. And then I just had this little tray of things. This ghost is, so you guys, I gotta tell you, I used to do swaps. Gosh, it was probably 20 years ago. But we'd go to a place to scrapbook for the weekend. It was a bed and breakfast. And I would get people to each make a different thing. Just like Ginger's Swaps, if you know Ginger's Corner, where you make 10 of something and then you switch them all out. I always explained it as a cookie exchange because people knew what that meant. But I think this actually said boo, and I think that was an O with the ghost. And I obviously haven't used it, so I'm using it now. Leaves. I thought if anything else, I could use leaves to do the embellishment cluster. In the sketch, you can see there's 2 round embellishments, and then there's 1 big embellishment cluster. And then I went into my color boxes and I grabbed out a couple things. I have one that's called Pattern. That's just a whole bunch of colors. And then I found this group of items. I used to have paper to go with it, and I believe I used it all. I will find a little scrap of paper in there, but I wanted to use those things because I think the colors were perfect. There were some oranges. There is some purple. I didn't use on that witch button. I didn't use on the page because I don't think any of the purple ends up there. But it's a lot of colors, and they're all in the right shades. So it's got the red, the orange, and then the green. And the green and the orange are what I'm really going to pull out. I'll have some pattern papers and things. So I'm just trying to figure out what things I might want to use, what might I not, and what kind of paper matches with that. And I don't end up using all of it. You're going to end up seeing my head a lot in this video, and I apologize profusely for that ahead of time. And I had my headband on because I had been working out. So, but when I'm working at the top of the picture or at the top of the layout, I have to get my eyeballs in there, so that's why you see the top of my head. So at first I lay down this pattern paper behind it to give that a look to see how that would be, because it's, I decided I do want like a band of paper across the layout like the sketch, and it's not just going to be the pumpkin. I have, I'm trying to work with the orange papers and the green papers that I have. And then I'm also trying to make I kind of do 3 clusters of embellishments. I don't just have like a big embellishment that I'll use in those round spots. The photos are from 2023 Halloween. My middle daughter Meredith is at grad school, and she is in a religious education program where she wants to learn about, taking on youth groups. She was actually doing a trunk or treat, which that was new to me. We moved across state 15 years ago, and we didn't do it up in northern Wisconsin, but down here in southern Wisconsin, everybody seems to do trunk or treat, which is totally fun. You go in a parking lot, open up your trunk, and hand out candy. So they were having some fun, and she's getting her face paint. She got her face painted by a youth as well. So I will trim down that orange and red paper and put that behind, and it's just bigger than that grid orange paper, which the orange and red is just a little bit bigger than the picture, so it turns out perfect. I will bring in, so this is my last layer of paper, and this just happened to work out. This was the green that I found that coordinated with the tag that I'm trying to match up with the paper collection that I'm kind of using with all those tags and things. And I only had like the 4 pieces of green, but they were 4 inches across, so they just span the page. And then, you know, as I'm like gluing all this down, I was thinking to myself, oh, I hope that these pictures will cover up the seams. And sure enough, there was no question, the pictures were covering up the seams, so it worked perfectly. It looks like one piece of green paper underneath. This video is longer than my normal ones. I did speed it out, but it's still, you know, there's just a lot that went into it in trying to figure out the clusters, with not having like a collection to work from. Lots of decisions to be made, and I don't mind that at all. I find that kind of enjoying, I enjoy that part of the process. It just takes a little bit of time. I think the video was, I think it was about an hour long when I uploaded it. I've got it down to 20 minutes as I sped it up a couple times. I did take some stuff out, but I was kind of productive through the whole video. So I will line up these photos. In the sketch, those 3x4s, I don't know, seem to be smaller than 3x4s, but that is, you know, just because you have a sketch doesn't mean it's made to scale. And as I always say too, like, don't worry about following the sketch exactly. I could have used one 4x6 picture, so I just enjoyed all these layering bits and making me think kind of outside my box with this pumpkin as well. So the red and the orange paper is kind of blending into that orange pumpkin with the stripes. So I do take my Tim Holtz Distressor, rough up the edges, which gives it like a white rugged border, which then lets it stand out, and you can tell that it's not a part of the stripe paper behind it. So that works out perfectly. It doesn't take very long. I do make a little bit of a mess. That's okay, easy to clean up. And then I'll glue, and I'm not going to throw a lot of ATG on there, just enough to get it, to make sure it's stuck down. Now this pumpkin's going off to the right. It won't be centered, and that is okay. Not everything has to be centered. You know, I'm one of those that likes everything perfect and perfection, but there's nothing wrong. It actually creates more interest when everything isn't centered. So I was thinking about this being a journal base or kind of a cluster base for a while. I end up and then I start with this little ghost is going to move around a little bit. I do try out, and again, that's why my video ends up longer than it usually is, but I do try several different things with my clusters. So I do like this tag, and that's where I got the green from, the cardstock. I'm going to layer that with my title, and then I'm still keeping my eye on, I want something up in the left hand corner, something down in the right lower corner, as well as this, you know, large embellishment cluster. I have lots of goodies that you can't see because the sketch is up there. You can see them as I pull them out. And there's that last piece of like pattern paper. There is no pattern paper I couldn't find anywhere. I did go through my scraps and this collection and stuff, and that is it. So I was able to use that, and I'm going to use it as a layering piece. As always, don't forget to check below, and the playlist for 30 Days of Sketches Series 14 will be down there, and you will be able to see everybody that's playing along and every day that they're posting for the 30 Days of Sketches. I'm trying to do every day. I've had a really rough start. especially with those 2-page layouts. I love 2-page layouts, but they just take a little bit longer. So I'm going to get back to those though. Don't worry. April, I will be not only finishing up my 30 days of sketches, but also follow sketch February, which I haven't finished yet either, but I gave that a good run for its money. There, that sticker that says party is going to go just perfectly over that kind of tag there. So I layer that up, and then back moves the ghosts to the right, because now I've got my 2 circles, which are kind of what the sketch looks like. I try these I got an estate sale. They're rather old, but they weren't the right colors for me. There was pinks in there, and that's just not what I was going for. These are Ellie Studio, so I pull out 3 cameras. They're black, so that's going to put black into each one of my clusters. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I was a consultant with Close to My Heart like 20 years ago. And so I do have a lot of Close to My Heart supplies, as well as cardstock is the big thing. So that green cardstock you see, I'm using up the bits of that. I might have more 12 by 12 cardstock in that color actually, but that is Close to My Heart. So I was saddened to hear about them closing their doors come June. I will continue to use all my good Close to My Heart stuff and enjoy it. In fact, I think these flowers, these kind of their flowers, they were punch outs, and so like that's something else in my stash. I'm just gonna get those last little flowers onto this page. I'm looking for different shades of orange. You know, this is more of a peachy color, but there were just some more orange items to get into my cluster. So I will layer those, and then I'm going to bring out some gems, some green gems to layer on top of those too. I always use my scissors like as a pokey tool. So the green gems were actually a full line of them, but I'm using them kind of like enamel dots, where I'm just sticking them in the flowers, and I'll actually go at the end and pull them in to my clusters even more. I do have lots of pocket cards in my stash, and I have them not only like in each of the color boxes, but I have them in the ones that are like multicolor as well. So I did find this one orange pocket card. It's a little dark orange that says fun for all ages, and I just thought that was perfect, so I had to use that. So that's the cluster base on the left upper side, and I will layer things around that. I'm still counting Frightful and Delightful as my title, because that's kind of where they had their title, or she had her title in the sketch. But I have lots of like different words and stuff, and that's okay. Subtitles. And actually, you know, I don't even have to claim a title. You can just decide whichever one you want is the title as well. So I'll start with that left upper cluster and get those things glued down. And once I get the basics of that cluster down, I'll move to the right lower cluster and start working on this. This was in my orange things. It has like these different colors totally, and then it says always. And when I laid it down, I saw, oh my gosh, it can say laugh always. And I'm like, that's just great. So know that you can change any item in your scrapbook collection. You're allowed. There's no rules. Cover up what doesn't work. Don't forget that, because sometimes I get focused on using it as it is. You can change anything that you have to make it work for you. And no one has to be any of the wiser, because now it's tucked away and it just says laugh always. With 2 different fonts, that kind of looks pretty cool if you ask me. And so here, yep, just going along and layering things. In case you're new here and don't know about Christy and Christy's beautiful life, Christy contacts like all people kind of in the group, and then the people in the group actually do the sketches just for this series. So it's pretty cool. You won't see these anywhere else. But if you go to the playlist, in case I haven't said that before, which I know I said go to the playlist, but it's just fun to see all the different takes on the sketch, because there is a bunch of creative people out there. And it's not just people making videos either. It is anybody who wants to can put one into the album. All right, so I am going to do my big cluster here. I've got the 2 different pieces of paper, and then I will decide I am going to cut that in half. I'll take out my trimmer because I'm just, even though it's being tucked, I want it to be straight. So now I have another half for another layout. I will layer that, and then I will get that ghost on there, I think, and then add the other embellishments to the ghost. So the pumpkin's down already, and I wasn't sure where to put this because I wasn't paying attention, and my idea was to put it somewhere and then I could always move it. I don't end up moving it, and I just keep going once I get it down. I have the next couple days off of work, so I'm going to work on getting ahead on these sketches, but it's going to be the first time that I go to a scrapbook retreat for this weekend. I'm going to bring my recording stuff along, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how I do. I'm not making any promises, but I should be able to get my lights up if I need them. Oh my gosh, look at my intense concentration here with my hand to my head. Oh my gosh, it was a long 4 days at work, and I'm just trying to get back into the groove, and I think this layout was exactly what I needed. Made me think a little bit. These clips, I think they're from Walmart a while back, and not in the scrapbook section, but I have them along with my color boxes so that I remember to use them. So I will put 1 into each cluster. I'll have 3 of them on here. I think that uses them up. The orange clips anyway. There I have other ones in different colors. I will use the word celebrate. These are, what do you call them? They're like clear stickers. So you got to kind of be careful where you put them so that you can actually see them. But this white ghost works well for this clear sticker. And I will layer the ghost on the right side and get my head in the way again. And then and then think some more. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's crazy. This is real life. I put some foam adhesive onto the back of that button. The button doesn't have that shank on the back of it. I think those were already off by the time I got them. I put the hat onto the ghost because where else would you put that hat, right? I get the green button up in the left corner, and like I said, I'm not going to use the purple one. There wasn't any other purple on the layout. I put the ghost in the right bottom corner, and then I have one more sticker. There was actually 3 of these, but one I figured out was a turkey, so I left the turkey off. But in the final photos, you'll see that I put an acorn sticker up by the ghost. I kind of forgot about that till I was cleaning up and getting ready to go. Here I'm going to take the title and cover that over the only other piece of purple that's in the layout. And then still do some thinking. That doesn't make it onto the layout. And then I'll remember that I have these super old rub-ons. And they're super not 49 market. But I use this one, not thinking ahead actually, but I thought either it's going to rub off or it's not going to rub off at all. And I've got to tell you, sometimes you get a rub on that rubs off half, but this wouldn't have mattered, honestly. So I don't think I showed you because I think I got my head in the way again, so I cut that out. But this went on, I don't know how old it is. It went on smoothly, not a problem. So that is on that green sheet, that green scrap. That, man, did that fit like exactly perfect. It was crazy. And now I'm just getting the finishing touches on it. I've got mostly everything where I want, and I just want it to be balanced. Well, not exactly balanced, because the one with the ghost is supposed to be the big embellishment cluster, right? So I will get all those, like the orange stars and like the little flowers there. And then I kind of hold it up just to think, okay, what else? What is it missing? What else do I need? And I want to put a couple more of those green gems on, so I'll throw one of those into each cluster. And I'm not sure if I do anything else after that, honestly. I do find some orange stars, and they're like a little enamel dots. Those might be something I was given by my close to my heart consultant at a crop. Not totally sure, but I'll put in one more star in each cluster, and that'll be it. So I want to thank you so much for hanging with me until the end. I hope you have a fabulous day, and please come back and see me again soon.